Well, hello.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, buddy. I don't know if anybody's still here, but it is us, and we're having some fun.
Yes, indeedy. I'm having a blast. Look at the size of this Danish. It's supposed to be like cut up for other people, but I'm just eating it.
Nice.
Giant Danish.
I love it. Looks like somebody sprinkled like Captain Crunch on it.
Yeah, that's almonds.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, it was quite good.
Paul the man is still here. Thank you, Paul, for sticking with us. And to kind of go over what everybody was saying on our last question, like who are 6 to 10 movie characters that you guys would like to have Thanksgiving dinner with? And Casey, I'm going to start with you, buddy. You got anybody? And you don't have to name them all right now. We can kind of go over as we get through.
I kind of wasn't sure how I wanted to play this. Like, part of me wanted to make it a bit where I start with like, Kelly Kapowski.
Kelly Kapowski, okay. She's a high school.
Right. I mean, no, and this is me being a high school kid.
I have to say, no.
Oh, this is me now?
This is you now, sir.
Man. Well, then my Saved by the Bell idea is out. It won't be those 6. Actually, screw that. No, there's a new series out where they're adults. So okay. I can say Kelly Kapowski. I can make this a whole Saved by the Bell bit.
All right. You're older than you, Kelly Kapowski. I'll take that. I will definitely take
absolutely.
that over.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
That's a beautiful Danish.
Right? That's a good Danish right there, eh?
It's a good Danish.
It's a good Danish.
If I'm going to sit down to dinner with anyone, and movie characters, not actors, nothing like that, no famous people, just movie characters, I'm probably going to say, I don't know. Jack Burton. That'd be fun.
Doc Brown would be a blast.
I feel like he'd be too eccentric and kind of running all over, and I just want to...
I don't think he would be for the meal. I don't think he would be that eccentric. I really think he would be cool and like have some fun stories, and he'd be nice, and he only has to do it for a couple hours. You know, he only has to play.
Paul kind of scares me a little bit with his... Phil from Groundhog Day, Hannibal Lecter, Jack Torrance, Tallahassee from Zombieland.
I'm in on Tallahassee, actually. I am in on Tallahassee.
Bill the Butcher from Gangs of New York.
That's horrifying.
And that's the first horrifying?
Yeah. I mean, I get the other ones. Hannibal would be great. He would be amazing dinner company.
You're eating human.
Yeah. Okay, why is that your first go-to? How do you know that he's bringing that side dish? He may bring a green bean casserole that has no human whatsoever.
Paul would be the guy who's tied to the chair at the end, like the woman was at the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they're like trying to freak him out, and he's just like, "No, I'm good, man. I'm good. Can I eat?
Fine.
Like,
yeah, what's going on?
Can I join the family? What's happening here?" Like that's where I feel like Paul's line is. And Patrick Bateman from American Psycho absolutely would be. Mm-hmm. I mean, we love you, Paul, but now I don't know if I want to go to a movie with you.
Oh, I'm in. Double down.
like who am I in this scenario? Are you going to be wearing a clear rain jacket while we're talking about music, or
well, as long as it's not only a clear rain jacket, and that's not to say that you live your truth, bro. You do you.
That is true. But hey, to each their own, and that sounds like it'd be a very interesting meal for sure. I don't know what you'd be eating, but you are my friend, my friend. We are, but we don't want to die. But
I'm pretty solid on this Doc Brown one. I like Doc Brown, and I'm going with Hannibal Lecter. I'm adding Hannibal Lecter to my table because I think he would be a glorious dinner guest.
You know what would be kind of cool? The Ninja Turtles. I'd have fun with that. I like that.
It would be fun. It would be a lot of fun. Yeah. I mean, Raphael's kind of a dick. So he could just storm off.
He wasn't a dick to April, so we know he's not a dick to all humans that he's friends with.
True.
And if I'm friends with him, but he was a dick to Casey Jones, but they met.
I was going to say, would you have Casey Jones with you?
I feel like you might have to.
And then round it out with April O'Neil.
Well, yeah. Both Aprils.
Yeah.
Oh, never. Yeah, absolutely. Mom from Halloween Town, and Paige Tuco.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
George Street 3 is still here, and his table would be Adrian Croner. If you guys don't know, that's Robin Williams' character from Good Morning Vietnam, which was a real person. Good Morning
Vietnam. Yep.
But I feel like the Robin Williams character, that's a pretty solid choice.
Agreed.
Dr. Stephen Strange.
Oh, yes. I would love to have Strange. What a good one.
He says Mr. Holland's maybe is the Opus.
From Mr. Holland's Opus, I presume?
That's what I'm presuming. Maddie, man with one red shoe. Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, strong.
Interesting. Obi-Wan. Okay. Mm-hmm. That would be an interesting, fun thing. And you also have Jesus at the table, so it works. Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
Nah, see, he'd bring it down. Well, no, he parties.
He parties, but I feel like either he's the slovenly drunk who's just moody, or he's just moody.
Well, and even if he's the king, like that's if he's probably a different kind of. No, I feel like there's a little more peace of prosperity action going on with him as the king.
Yeah, if he's the king, I get it.
So maybe King Aragorn, he'd probably be pretty awesome.
I'd replace him with Costner's Robin Hood.
Oh, and get an occasional British accent?
Just a very weak occasional British accent, for sure.
Pardon me, my friend. May we have some of your stuffing? Was that it, Kev? Was that it?
Are you a Midwestern? What's happening here? Happy Gilmore.
Back to Yellowstone.
I love Yellowstone. Happy Gilmore, I feel like would kind of the same with Doc Brown, but on the other level, he'd be more of a negative, like outburst type of guy.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to deal with his bull crap. Yeah. He's another moody one. I bet you him and Aragorn would just piss each other off.
You know what would be cool? Sam Wilson from the Marvel movies.
Yo, that would be rad to have Sam because he's fun. Sam and Bucky. I want Sam and Bucky Barnes at my table.
But I want Sam and Bucky Barnes now, not Sam and Bucky Barnes at the beginning.
No, definitely their story. And I want Riggs and Murtaugh.
See, which Riggs?
What do you mean? Oh, well, no, not first Riggs, fourth Riggs. We can wait till they're old. I'm cool with the old man.
I'd even move into the third one. He's not as crazy.
Yeah. Well, he's already shown he can have a relationship. Or no, the third one is where he gets in the relationship. So, yeah.
But he's open to things.
He tried to have a relationship in the second one.
That's true. I would have her at my table. Captain Picard
to serve your wife.
Oh my God. That's Paul's table. Captain Picard is a good one, but I feel like I'd rather hang out with Riker.
Yeah, I wouldn't want Picard, honestly. Like I covet and I think he's phenomenal. I think he's so. I revere him. I revere that character, but I wouldn't want to hang out with that character. I'd rather have like Bones, or someone like that. Like McCoy would be hilarious. I bet Scotty would be the businessman. He would be wonderful.
Any of the officers playing poker?
Yeah, I mean Worf maybe not so much. Data would be interesting. Data could be fun.
And he wouldn't take up all the food.
Exactly. Guinan would be a blast, man.
I would, what would be a good one from Deep Space Nine is the Doctor and O'Brien.
Bashir? Yeah, Bashir and O'Brien. Oh, they would be a great time. They would be a hoot.
They'd bring interesting conversation to the table.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they're kind of like down-to-earth guys.
They're down-to-earth guys who respectfully party. They definitely understand when they're reaching their limits. They push them, but, they are the ones who, usually try not to crawl out of the bar.
Now, the next one on his list, Superman, is interesting. Now, I wouldn't mind sitting down and have philosophical conversations with Superman that were more lighthearted. But I would take Superman out, and I'd put Ted Lasso in.
That is a really big difference. That is a substantial swing.
I think they both have really positive outlooks on things.
Yeah.
But one, it comes from a basis of not having power and being okay with it. Mm-hmm. And any power that he does get, he knows how to cradle it because it's important and he has an effect on people. Whereas with Superman, I feel sometimes gets lost with all of the power power that he has, not corrupted, but sometimes like he doesn't understand vulnerability like
Yeah.
others do.
No, it's very true. Being vulnerable is such part of the human experience, and Superman doesn't get that degree of experience because he doesn't have to fear jumping across this tiny ravine. He doesn't have to fear, potential bodily harm and stuff. So that it changes it up quite a bit.
And he doesn't. Everyone that he really comes into contact with, he inspires so many, but usually from afar. Whereas Ted Lasso is a close, like, again, he understands that cradle of power where he has the power to change things. So he uses positivity all the way through and he never wavers from it. So I think I would get very similar conversations. That's why it was a replacement. I feel like I get very similar conversations out of both, but I'd probably get a lot more from Ted Lasso in terms of philosophy.
And I would really hope to invite Superman and have him show up as Clark Kent and like playing it off as Clark Kent the whole time. Just real hard. So, hey, Kal-El, and he just doesn't reply to it at all.
Did you ever see the Saturday Night Live episode where it's a superhero wedding announcement party for Lois and Clark Kent, Lois and Superman?
No.
And she still doesn't know that Superman and Clark, because it was Margot Kidder hosting.
Oh my gosh!
And Bill Murray plays Superman.
Oh, so I have to go back and watch that.
She's like, I wonder when Clark's going to get here, and like all the other superheroes are there, kind of like giggling, and like he would just like fly out the window and come back as Clark, and she's like, oh, you just missed Superman. Oh, did I again? And it's hilarious. Jim Belushi plays the Hulk. It's great. But yeah, that's the little things like that are truly fantastic. Yeah. So,
and Phoenix is his other one here.
Which Phoenix though?
I mean, are you talking about the Ultimate Power Phoenix? Are you talking about the Dark Phoenix? Are you talking about the White Phoenix? Are you talking about are you referring to Phoenix as Jean Grey? Do you mean Marvel Girl?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of
the new Marvel Girl who's really just Jean Grey's the Phoenix, but now in the form of Jean Grey, even though she's not really Jean Grey anymore. I don't even know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. But it's a good choice. Let us know what you say about the Phoenix.
I would swap her out for Emma Frost.
See, I would take Emma Frost out of it. I'd rather sit down and talk to from that group, Storm.
Oh yeah, I mean she was hailed as a god as a child. Like heck yeah, I want to know what her life is like.
Or Psylocke, that Olivia Munn would just be amazing.
Psylocke was a badass character.
I don't mean to cut you off, but that was just like popped in my head, and I could not think about her.
I mean, I completely understand. It does not go. It is not unwarranted.
That's one of those situations where if it's a stuffing or Psylocke, Olivia Munn. I don't know where to go with it.
I mean, you know exactly where to go with it. I saw a video in 6th grade. I know how this works.
So my table would be the best conversation. I would be cooking so no human or anyone. That's not the case. You can't guarantee that. What if they bring a pie? What if it's a meat pie? You don't know.
Well, then you don't eat it.
You'd eat it.
It's not hard. You say, oh, I'm sorry. I ate so much of the regular food. I didn't leave room for this junk. It really insults them, too. I'm sure that would go over real well.
I was thinking Jean X-Men 1. So Jean Grey, not the Phoenix.
Okay. All right. Word. Yeah.
All right. That's fair. Femke Janssen, too. That's great. John Watt says, Peter Quill, Will Riker. I'm singing it to him. Hawkeye Pierce. Malcolm Reynolds.
Yes, Hawkeye Pierce. And Mal. Mal would be awesome.
Jack Sparrow and Tom Dodge from Down Periscope.
Yep.
It would be a really interesting captain's table with lots of story. That it would.
Yes, it would.
There'd be one there who wasn't a captain.
Who?
Riker.
Yeah, he is. Captain of the Titan.
Depends on which Riker.
Oh, you have to do now Riker. I don't think you can do, especially now with the new show that's out. Gosh,
sure.
How am I forgetting that? No, not Picard. Although he is in Picard as well. So he's there. It's canon. We
What's
know
the new
him
show?
as the older one. The animated one. For some reason,
Lower
blanking.
Decks.
Yeah, Lower Decks. Thank you.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
Prodigy.
yeah.
Prodigy is the other one I was confusing it with for some reason. My brain, sorry. But yeah, Lower Decks is has him as such a badass, and especially as him just being the cavalier, nonchalant maniac that he is. So older Will Riker is really fun because all he wants to do is talk about his stories.
That's true. Then I would send them to your table. I don't want them. I don't want any of your people at my table.
I already have Hannibal, and I tell you what, he's been a delight all evening. He has brought some wonderful wine. He has regaled us with tales of his art in Florence. It's been wonderful. It's wonderful.
Nope.
The trip he took to the Swiss Alps. Apparently, he's had some very interesting meals along the way.
Just don't be rude.
That's all you have to do. Be polite.
Be polite.
Extremely polite.
Extremely, yeah, like fearfully polite. He'll know something about.
Uncomfortably polite.
Let's see what we got. Unfortunately, I have to head into work early, so won't be able to finish up the final hour. I'm thankful for the podcast and friendship. You guys are awesome. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you sticking with us throughout. I will look into a sales thing for Snobs merch for you. Again, I don't know how it works, but I will try and make it work.
I'm thankful for you as well, Paul. It's been a pleasure, friend. Go get some rest or whatever you're getting into, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, we're reaching into the last hour, 15 minutes, man.
Choo-choo.
You want to start a new topic?
Yeah, man. Let's fire one up.
All right, I got one for you. If you had to quantum leap the life of one TV or movie dad, who would you most want to? Who would you least want to?
Michael Gross for most. From
Family
Ties. You're goddamn right.
I mean, Meredith Baxter, yeah.
I mean, that pretty much ends it there. Plus, your son is Alex P. Keaton, who's hilarious. He's a riot because he's so ridiculous. Your daughters dote on you. You just work. He's an architect, I believe, too. So,
he was a filmmaker.
That's right.
He was a documentary filmmaker.
Man, I forgot all about that. Yep.
Elise, his wife, was an architect.
Thank you. That's what it was. Yep. Yeah, I loved him. I think he had a wonderful life. And the worst thing he ever had to deal with was Nick, who wound up being a godsend.
Yeah, they did start getting along after a while, and Scott Valentine is a wonderful human being.
Yes, he is.
All right, so then where am I going with this? I could.
Oh, that was my best. What is your best? Yeah,
my best. See, it's a tough one for me, because there's so many TV and movie dads.
There's a lot. That's why I went with one that to me just immediately popped in my head, and I was like, yeah, he's quintessential good dad. He was a good dude. He did things well. He tried to be there for his kids. You notice he was involved, and that was solid. So,
like Clark Griswold would be good, especially early Clark Griswold, because Beverly D'Angelo back then was smoking hot.
I love that. That's like one of the first line items is "Who's my wife."
Yeah.
It's not just TV dad. It's like, okay, TV husband too. Like,
you gotta go with
it plays. Bro, it factors. I understand completely.
How about Howard Cunningham?
Really?
He owns his own business. It's the 50s, so and it's a hardware store, and it's in a small town, so he's doing well. He's got a nice house. He's got kids that love him and aren't troublemakers. His wife is hot and she's cool. Or Desi.
Oh yeah, Desi Arnaz.
He's a celebrity.
Yep.
Or Ricky Ricardo.
Ricky Ricardo. Yeah.
But he's a celebrity. He's in love with his wife, but he gets his own bedtime. She takes care of the kid. I like sharing.
Let's time out
with my wife.
Let's time out the whole she takes care of the kid because she causes more messes than a normal kid would or does or ever will.
It's true. That is
so.
True.
You better be mindful of that, buddy.
All
you have to really fear that sometime if she says I'm taking the baby to the zoo, she may come back with a chimpanzee and shenanigans will ensue.
All right. Yeah, take that one off the table.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
That's a good point. Very good point. But I'm trying to think of new ones now. Like, what would be a cool one to be? Phil Dunphy.
Ooh, Phil Dunphy would be a good one. Yep.
He's good at what he does. He's got a family he really cares about. Good dad.
Oh,
Hot
Neil.
wife.
Oh, what's his name? The guy from The Middle.
Oh,
The janitor.
Yeah, why can't I think it now? I'm blanking.
Oh, no.
That was a good one. He played Mike on the show, The Middle.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a dysfunctionally good dad.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was funny. And, Patricia Heaton.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Patricia Heaton and that show was kind of like really like it seemed like really stress. I can't deal with that much stress and anxiety. That's a lot of stress and anxiety.
Yeah, okay. You know what? You're right. It's definitely not the level of Malcolm in the Middle's mom. But, yes, it is.
I know who. And it goes two ways. I would either be Mike Baxter or Tim Taylor. Both played by Tim Allen, either in Last Man Standing or Home Improvement.
Okay.
Hot wives, beautiful homes,
Yeah.
wonderful kids.
Yeah.
I'd probably have to lean more towards Tim Taylor because I can't have daughters, man.
But here's the question. Is that going to be a project that you're cool with? Like, are you going to be all right, like, firing up cars and working on machines and stuff all the time? All right.
Oh, if I have the money, sure. And
fair. You have
like,
your own show, nationally syndicated television
I'm a host,
show. So, yeah, you're rolling.
But he's a host on both shows. Oh, so he hosts a nationally syndicated tool show.
Right.
Or he hosts a web show and he owns the business and it's a successful business.
That's strong.
But you did find out on Last Man Standing that Tim Taylor wound up buying Binford.
Yeah.
And becoming a partner. So it's really a toss-up. But like,
I don't know. I'm still stuck on the Phil Dunphy. Like, I'm going back to that one because that really, like, we kind of glossed over it. I think that might be taking over as like tops.
Yeah, but I don't know. That extra money would be really nice. Drive nice cars around. Philip Drummond.
Julie Bowen.
Yeah, that's true. But no, Nancy Travis is hot.
No, Nancy Travis is gorgeous, but and also the family functions on Modern Family are amazing. They are rad. They are large scale. That family is like always hanging out. It's good. It's good stuff.
This might be a contender for winner. Edward Stratton III, Ricky's dad from Silver Spoons.
Yeah.
Ultra rich, owns a toy company, has massive amounts of toys, and ends up with Aaron Gray.
Oh, man, that is hard to go against.
That's a tough one.
That is really hard to go against, bro.
You're rich. You're a good-looking young guy. Your son loves you. Like, you get along with your son really well. I mean, the wife dying thing is kind of sad, but like, it depends on what portion of the show you're at. Because like, she was dead before the show started. Do I have to be Edward Stratton from the beginning? Or do I have to pick up being Edward Stratton?
Yeah. Do I have to go through the strife and struggle and like, the trials and tribulations, or I could just show up at the end where I'm like, all right, Aaron Gray, what's up?
Yeah.
Buck
Especially
Rogers, y'all.
Especially in the 80s, you got to wonder. It's like, all right, man, like he's super rich. That mansion is huge. Yeah, I don't know. Edward Stratton's a good one.
That's a tough one. Like, I'm still just sitting here just trying to scour, like, who else?
Rory
John.
From Doctor Who. Sure, his daughter grew up in some time travel thing as his future wife's best friend, but it still counts. Here's the thing. Rory, I will never put down he's a great dad. But no, I don't want to be Rory. Rory's life, Rory took on misery.
Yeah.
And Rory happily took on misery so Amy wouldn't. But if for my wife, I'll take on misery.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not in love with Amy. I mean, yeah, she's hot, but no. If I'm being a dad, I want to be if I have to choose a TV dad to be, I want to be a TV dad of like kids that I know are well adjusted. I'm not picking Al Bundy. Al Bundy is
Bro.
my worst list.
I got one that's a top would be Carl Banks.
Oh yeah, he was such a great
Dude.
Dangerous job. Dangerous job. He works in
What is a
Chicago as a
judge?
police officer. Oh, wait. Did you say Carl Banks?
Yeah.
Oh, we mixed them up. So Carl Winslow and Philip Banks.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, sorry, Philip Banks. Yeah, I totally mixed it up. Yep. Philip Banks.
So Philip Banks works. Yeah, Philip Banks, great dad.
Yeah.
Loves his kids.
Yeah.
But they're kind of bratty and spoiled.
Yeah, but whatever. You're able to have bratty spoiled children. Like, you understand the implication there. That means you came from something else. Like, and he did. That's the thing that he's so proud of himself about.
2 hot wives.
Both the same person, but different. It's a whole schizophrenia thing.
So Edward Stratton III or Philip Banks are really good choices because you get to be rich.
Exactly.
But you get to be awesome people too. So
yep. Nah, you know what? Even though I love Phil Banks, I'm still Phil Dunphy. I'm Team Dunphy. I can't see any better. Like, I wouldn't want to Danny Tanner. No.
What about Jay Pritchard?
Who?
Philip Dunphy's stepfather or father-in-law.
Oh yeah, I mean that's pretty good life too.
Rich,
super rich,
super rich. Look at his wife,
Sofia Vergara.
Yeah,
that's all right.
He's good stepdad to Manny, and he has his own kid. Plus, he has 2 kids from his previous marriage. He has a lot of bottled up emotions, but that's because he's a boomer.
Yeah.
Now maybe it will be Phil Dunphy.
Yeah, no, I'm still on Dunphy, man. He's also, I can enjoy some longevity. I got a few more years as Phil.
Yeah, I can't pick like Cam or what was Eric Stone Street's name on that show? I can't the 2 guys because it's a nice relationship and I like the idea of that.
It's an amazing relationship.
Yeah, and their fathers, they're good fathers, but they're eccentric, and I don't know that I could deal with that much anxiousness. And
that's my problem with that is when they have the anxiousness, they're able to deal with each other fantastically well. I would not be one of those people. I would be like, no, it's too much.
That's why I don't know that I could pick Phil Dunphy because as hot as Julie Bowen is, Claire is a bitch on that show.
I'm cool with that.
That would grate on me after a while.
She absolutely, for me, draws the line there where it's like, no, she falls on the fine side of that where that's fully acceptable. Yep.
She's really into Halloween though, so that's cool.
She's got a lot of positives, bro.
I'll just stay here then.
yeah, hey, there you go. Look, you are in the perfect life. It's perfect.
I know who, and he's dead, and it's worth it. I'll take the death. Ben Parker from the current MCU timeline. You're married to Aunt May.
Yeah.
But Marissa Tomei Aunt May.
Yeah, but you weren't a dad.
Ben Parker was a dad. He was a dad. You know that. You leave that man alone.
From Tom Holland's MCU?
Yeah, he raised that boy.
I'm surprised you wouldn't choose Ben Parker from, the Tobey Maguire one.
Because he's old. I don't want to be Cliff Robertson. I want Marissa Tomei.
Or the Amazing Spider-Man one.
Hey, I like Sally Field, but I don't want to be Martin Sheen.
That's fair. Not many people do. That's a lie. I'm sure there's tons of people who would love to be Martin Sheen.
Yeah. What do we got here? All right. Changing my best answer to Corey Matthews. He ended up as a teacher in New York City, married to Topanga, and his kids actually talk to him. He does his best to make a difference and kind of succeeds. That is a solid choice.
Yeah, John just won it. That cinched it. That is the best. I can't see a better option. You get to be a teacher. You get to influence kids' lives. You get to have a blast and shape the minds of the young ones while also being married to Topanga Lawrence.
You want to hear something crazy? You know what TikTok just taught me?
This is going to be fun.
Mr. Feeney. The actor who played Mr. Feeney. Remember Mr. Feeney and the dean from the college, the woman, started dating on the show?
Yeah.
They were actually husband and wife in real life.
Get out.
And I did not know that until recently. Mr. Feeney started showing up on TikTok because his granddaughter's on TikTok. And she goes to him and asks him for advice on TikTok. And she showed a video clip of him and goes, "This is really my grandfather." And it's a picture from, or a video from
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World. And then also a picture of Kit from Knight Rider.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts to him standing next to her. And it's like, and this is my grandfather and my grandmother. And it was her. And I was like, oh,
wow.
That's awesome.
That's
like,
really
and they didn't
cool.
meet on the show. They've just been married.
Wow.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's
Corey
pretty rad.
Matthews is a good one.
Yeah, it's a strong one. Worst. Okay, so worst. John's got one up there.
Yeah, John says Ned Flanders. That dude has it rough. I agree.
Hi, diddly ho.
George G3, let me know what you think. For worst dad, I gotta say Al Bundy, man. Al Bundy has a rough life. I don't know that I want to be there.
That shoe salesman thing. What a terrible job.
I hadn't done that.
Nah, I'm out. That would be rough, but I also still get Peg Bundy. That's a pretty freaking huge upside.
All right, then what's his name from Sons of Anarchy? Still get Peg Bundy. She's still hot.
No, that is true. But, I mean, he didn't actually have any kids of his own. So,
true.
I don't know. And He was a pretty awful stepdad considering he tried to have his kid killed.
So, B. John Goodman from
Spoilers.
Roseanne. True. B. John Goodman from Roseanne.
What about the dad from Bob Uecker and Mr. Belvedere?
Yeah, never home with your kids.
Yeah, he was a pretty shitty dad.
Yeah, you might as well just say Mr. Belvedere if you wanted the best one. Like, that's who raised them. Yeah, that was a bad show. You know what we didn't say? We didn't say Jason Seaver from Growing Pains. Joanna Kearns is
for
hot.
A good one? Yeah, no, true.
Alan Thicke, so he's a good-looking guy. He's a psychiatrist, works from home, takes care of his kids. Mm-hmm. Dan from Roseanne is the worst.
Yo, okay, look, Dan was an amazing father, awesome dude, but serious health problems. And I mean, being that size, I just can't even fathom it. And Roseanne.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one there. That's definitely one of the worst.
Her voice.
Oh, wait. I know.
Voice, man.
I know. All right. So here's the thing. I know this is going to be a little bit controversial, but...
A little bit?
If it's just solely based on the character, just the character, not the person behind the character, my number one, and I'm saying this, and I'm looking at the camera, and I'm saying this, just the character, not the human being, Heathcliff Huxtable from The Cosby Show. Loving dad. He's a doctor. His wife is a lawyer. She's probably the most beautiful mom ever on TV. Felicia Rashad.
Yeah, she was stunning.
And just, they had a great marriage. But I got to just go with the character on that one.
Bro, I got to straight up. No, he dosed the barbecue sauce.
To bring up the barbecue sauce. You don't know if he dosed the barbecue sauce.
He talks about dosing the barbecue sauce. It's lines in the show that are said out of his mouth, and he has to steal the sauce from Rudy before she gets a big old fingerful.
Oh, my God. Fine. Because now I'm pulling in the element of, fathers that have actually raised their kids to be good human beings.
You know who was an awful father? Buffy the Vampire Slayer's father.
Yeah, where was he?
Non-existent. It would cancel on her all the time and then never show up for her, never come through for her. It's just a piece of trash.
That's true. That you are not wrong, my friend. So everybody, we're in the last hour here. We're doing good. I think we're chugging along pretty well. Having a good conversation. Yeah. I agree with everything said. Let's just say Buffy's the worst dad because he just never showed up.
Any non-existent dad, and especially dad who gets kids' hopes up and then boom, that's brutal.
Definitely don't want to be that for sure.
Nah.
At least Al Bundy went to that job every day. Every day,
Al Bundy listened to his kids, annoyed every day,
and gave him the money, and he did the best he could. You know what? Well, he did. He did. He provided. I'll say that.
He provided.
He provided.
Maybe not always been good, but he provided.
That's for sure. All right. This one I really want to talk about, and since it's the last hour, I know it's going to take a little while, and I really want to get your opinion and everybody else's opinion on this one. All right. If you could make the next big decision in Hollywood, you're the guy in charge, right?
Yeah, I'm the guy. All right,
you're the guy.
The guy.
What would you choose to do in Hollywood that has a big effect on filmmaking? And now I've written down some examples, like i.e., pick the new James Bond or Indiana Jones, or anybody like that, anybody in that franchise, or you could grant a remake of whatever you want, or you can grant a sequel, or you can pick a book, any book that you would want to see get made, or you can pick the direction of like the Marvel universe and where it goes and who's in it, or the DC movies, etc., things like that. Like, what would be a big pick from you? Like, where would you go with this?
So I kind of stewed on this one for a bit because there is a lot. It's a big topic. You know, kind of throws everything at the wall. To narrow it down, I started by just thinking about DC. If I had the ability to go into Warner Brothers executives and to be the Warner Brother executive, like if I was in that body and able to completely redirect everything that's about to happen with the DC universe, that would probably be the biggest thing. Because I would take so many things and put them on their heads and just be done with the Justice League characters for a while. It's time to let those puppies lie and move on to your other things. Maybe Hellblazer, focus on the Constantine again. That was huge. You know, find the things that are playing and selling and that people want to see. If fans are clamoring for it and things are working, use it.
That's a good one. Now, would you get like a Keanu Reeves back to play him?
I don't know.
He wants.
I don't know. I don't know if I would go with him or if we were going to go with the other dude who played Hellblazer in the TV show.
He was good, and he was in the animated movies too. He was good, and I like him.
And fans love him. So I mean, it's one of those. He's really great to play it. You could also do it where maybe you put it on its head, where the Keanu Reeves is like the devil's version of Constantine out there, and they have to fight each other. I think that could be fun. Like, there's tons of shit like that. Like, there's so many opportunities to use those, or you know, a full reboot of all the DC or the Universal monsters. I always thought would be fun. That was one that I really thought would be cool if we do a good, solid reboot. Like, you know, give Guillermo del Toro Wolfman. I want to see what he comes up with that. You know, find different random things to give different directors, but stick with that Universal monsters theme. Bring them back.
If I'm doing that, though, because I know they wanted to do the Dark Universe where they had like big celebrities playing the different characters.
Yeah.
But I like what you said there. And if I was doing that, I would take that and give, like Kevin Feige, say to Guillermo del Toro, you are in charge of all of these movies. You pick the directors, you pick where the storyline goes, but we want an MCU type of movie franchise with all of these characters. Can you make it happen? And I really think he could in a really good way.
Yeah, I think it would be fantastic. I really like the idea of what Guillermo del Toro would bring to that table, to the vision, the same way one probably thought Zack Snyder was going to bring. You know, that at least what they were hoping for when they reached out to him with that. But I think this on a better scale, like maybe you have Del Toro and Peter Jackson working together. You know, I think that could be a fun little team. You know,
sorry.
No, just because the fact that one has the characters that I see in mind and a filming style, and the other one understands building the epic and how to get that huge storyline across in a great way.
I feel like Shape of Water could be a good prequel.
To the creature of the Black Lagoon. Yeah.
Because now you have this creature who's clearly a gill man, who has escaped from Baltimore, gone through the situation, fell in love with the woman, but saw the monsters of man and how they treated him. So I could see why he would freak out and hate men in his territory, but be able to fall in love with a woman and find her beautiful.
Yeah. And then right before he gets caught by Hellboy.
we could continue that.
Joins that team. And it's got to be Doug Jones again. That's the only way I'm doing this. It's the only way I'm doing it. As the exec, it must be Doug Jones. Every single actor and director, like all of them, have to be screened. Yep. I want to know who's doing what. I want to be aware of it. And I just want to hear it. I just want to make sure it doesn't sound like it's getting off the rails. That's my biggest thing. Like,
you know what drove me nuts when they were picking the Invisible Man? They picked Johnny Depp. And I like Johnny Depp. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to pick the Invisible Man and he's going to be invisible, Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
That he would be so good in that role.
He would be pretty fantastic at that role. I mean, you could bring the Hollow Man, Kevin Bacon, back.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Let's not go there.
I'm just saying it's an option.
It is an option. If you did that, then I think that you would be fired from Universal.
Yeah, pretty quick. Pretty quick, I'd be out.
That's a good choice. I like that. What would I do? I don't know. You know what I'd most want?
A big fuck off car chase for 3 hours.
Just a 3-hour car chase.
Just a 3-hour car chase. What's the name of it? Run Fast.
I'd probably want to do either sequels. Most likely sequels would be my number one. Like if I could do it, first off, I'm getting Friday the 13th back. And it's sequels. It's happening. Because I feel like you're not going to make a ton of money, but you're going to make some money and you can do some fun things with it.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to, like, if you decide to re-kick everything just as sequels, like, imagine just a line of sequels, and that's what you call it. Like, this for the next 3 years releases, we're just calling it the sequels, and just boom.
Yeah, I mean, besides, like, horror movies, the only other thing that really has, like, a franchise sequels like that
Sharknado.
That too. But,
Jaws?
No, I only have 4. Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah, Fast and Furious, yep.
Yeah, so, here we go. George G3 says, I'm starting a new original idea, a villain who is successful all the time as he or she defeats multiple hero characters per story. Could be a world dominator franchise. So, a movie about the Hollywood industry. Okay.
Pretty much.
The villain will take out other villains along the way too. It'd be interesting. You know what I would want to do all right, maybe not pick the next James Bond, but make a movie about Spectre.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Yeah, why don't we start doing spin-offs? Like spin-offs from Bond, I think. Because Bond itself, especially now after this Craig closeout, man, it's so darn good.
Yeah.
And it was just it made all the other movies better. And now I don't want another James Bond for a little bit.
Well, it's going to be a while. It's going to be at least 3 or 4 years before we get to even like film another one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with other people taking on the moniker of 007. I'll take spy movies till the day, for as long as the day is. Actually, which would be great because you tie it in with Spectre. You do the Spectre spinoffs, and it's how they're trying to cat and mouse their way out and around MI6.
And that's what I'm saying. Like from the other side of it, do Spectre, see how it grows as an organization. Start it from like the early days where it's still an organization, but it's gaining more and more power over these movies. You tell all of these movies, and you realize you're watching the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then, and they have different, like you can have, and you can even get Felix Leiter in there a few times, like a new Felix Leiter to show up, like other agents from different countries doing it. And then when it ramps up, if it's doing really well, you introduce the new Bond that way.
That's viable. I could see that.
That'd be an interesting turn.
That'd be a fantastic way to do it. I mean, it really depends on what we're watching the bad guys do and form. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like how are we going to see that play out? That could be fun.
That was kind of a reverse of like my idea for Universal horror movie, Universal monster movies, was start off with a reboot, not really a reboot, but like kind of a reboot of Monster Squad. with the
Nice.
kids of the original Monster Squad today, and the surviving members of the Monster Squad still there, having to fight these darker entities that are already a team, and just narrowly defeating them. So you already have an Avengers together because it was already established in the Monster Squad. You have the villains and you have the monsters together, but after narrowly defeating them, the monsters all have to go into hiding in their home. And then we tell the individual stories, and you can touch down on the origin stories, but you don't have to because now it's already established. And they could be hiding, like the Monster Squad goes on a journey to find them and defeat them. But
I dig that. That's pretty cool,
right?
Yeah, that would be pretty rad. The problem is I have an issue with how Frankenstein plays out.
You don't have Frankenstein yet.
Okay.
You can have Phoebe as the head of the Monster Squad organization.
Okay.
And one of the things she's working on is trying to open that portal.
Okay.
And get Frankenstein back because she never thought he should have gone. Yeah. And that's what propels the monsters to come back.
Nice. Yeah.
And you can do it in so many different ways. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. I dig that.
I talked about it a little bit on 5 Things when I was on that show as a guest, but I think we got a little more in depth with it here. But I was like, Guillermo, call us. Let's get this done.
Let's do it. Also, what was another one with I think would be really fascinating is to remake a bunch of the Stephen King movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's already some that have been, so I'm cool with that. But and as great as Dr. Sleep was, I would like to gear more towards redoing Carrie. Which
they did a good version.
There was a good version now, and the original version is great. So it's not a knock on those, but I think it's important to always refresh those because those stories should be passed on to other generations. And I misspoke with Carrie. I meant Christine.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That would be a fun one to remake.
That's one I wouldn't even remake. You can update the story for today and still count it as canon. But you can tell the same exact story for a new generation. Mm-hmm. But I think that would just be an interesting one to kind of play with. But yeah, I do agree with you. If you do just remake it, I'm fine with that too. But John Carpenter did do a good job.
He did. Well, I'd like to see Maximum Overdrive.
Hey, Paddington, what's going on, man?
What's up, Paddington? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thanks for joining in. I just want to come by and say I hope you had a good Thanksgiving and have a good day. Thank you very much.
You as well. Thank you.
That is awesome of you to stop by. Thank you. I really appreciate people who do that. But yeah, honestly, I think Christine could be done well as a remake, but I do agree, there are some Stephen King movies that need to be remade.
Yeah, I mean, they redid Pet Sematary, which was nightmarish, but okay, it's fine. I think that's worth it. Cujo, I think, could be done better.
I want a studio-backed Storm of the Century.
Yeah, there you go. That would be beast. Yeah, I honestly would like a new Misery. As great as Misery was, and it still stands up for me. I'm not putting it down because Kathy Bates, it's really hard. It's really hard to get someone to do what she did. That acting was really special, but it can be done, and I want to see it. Imagine Melissa McCarthy in that role.
Oh, I don't know if I can handle it, dude, because I can't handle the old Misery. I've watched it a few times, but I can't. It's just it plays on all my fears.
It's brutal, man. I love it. Even just thinking about it, it's a hard one.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's because imprisonment is one that really evokes a lot of terror in my eyes. But yeah, I don't know if I could do another Misery because they're going to get darker and they're going to get more horrific with it. And
or another Dolores Claiborne.
Ooh, that's a tough one. How about Shawshank? Would you want to see Shawshank remade?
Absolutely, I'd be fine with that.
Really? Such a good movie.
It's a fantastic movie, and Tim Robbins crushes it. I mean, everyone's amazing. Clancy Brown, I don't ever want to not see that guy in a movie. I love Clancy Brown. I think I'm well on record as letting everyone know how in love with that man I am. His voice, his power, his prowess on stage, he's amazing. But I don't think it should be prevented to not have some other incredible actors and actresses who are around now playing that kind of role. Those roles are what made them as much as the characters who played them, the actors and actresses who played them. But I want a remake of that. I want to see who would be cast as the warden, honestly. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Those odd, thinking about those odd characters, or who would be Brooks now?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Is Tim Robbins old enough to play Brooks?
Probably.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know that I'd be okay with that one being remade right away. Like, I think there's a lot more I'd like to see get remade.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. They're still, and they've been pumping them out. Like I said, Pet Sematary is pretty recent.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
But yeah, that's the problem. Is a lot of them have been great, but they're not going to be great. It's still Stephen at your core. It's still a Stephen King story, which the book and the tension that's created in the book is why Stephen King is Stephen King. Yeah. He can get that to translate off the page in a phenomenal way. But that's trying to get that part translated across in film hasn't always succeeded. Obviously Kubrick did a fantastic job, and I think Dr. Sleep was done very well.
Yeah, and it married the two really well, the book and the original movie and book.
Yeah, it really did. But I think a scene like in Cujo, where that scene where they're in the car and Cujo's just prowling around the outside, bro, reading that was like difficult. It was troublesome. Watching it in the movie, I was like, it was good. It sold. That I can't remember the actress's name at the moment, but she sold it very well. Thank you. That was Dee Wallace. That's crap. Okay, she was amazing. I love her. I want to see someone else.
What was that big dog movie with E.T.'s mom in it? Cujo. It's Cujo right there.
Yeah. That's the one. You remember.
No, I was quoting Scream. Sorry. It was a poor attempt at quoting Scream.
I apologize for not being better about being on point with that one.
No, it's my fault. It was terrible. Because it's supposed to be, what's that werewolf movie with E.T.'s mom in it?
Ah, gotcha. But yeah, Cujo, I think, would be better. I think it would be great to have another opportunity to see that and Christine and all these other ones updated, because I really love those ones growing up, and I think that should come to a new generation. Come on, you tell me you don't want a new Silver Bullet. I want a new. Yeah. I need an updated Silver Bullet, bro.
Yeah,
there's got to be a new Silver Bullet. Those could all be redone. Imagine Jordan Peele doing a Silver Bullet, bro. What?
So good, man. That was so good. What do you think about? Yeah, but okay. So like Cujo. Mm-hmm. Do you have the downer ending like you did in the original in the book, or do you keep the ending where the kid survives?
No, I hire James Wan and let him decide.
That'd be interesting. Do you think James Wan would be a good one for that one? I think.
Yeah, because I think he
could. Good.
You think? Oh, hey, there you go. Okay.
From Sinister.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It'd be a good one.
Yeah, for Cujo, maybe better. Yeah.
I'm
just thinking, as someone atmosphere, like what about Ty Law for Christine?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I can see stuff like that, but I can't. It's such a hard decision, because now I'm thinking along the lines of like, okay, if we're in charge, say we're in charge of the Stephen King.
Ty West. Jeez, why would I say Ty Law? What am I talking about? Ty West.
Oh yeah, no, I got it.
I know who you knew, but just in case anyone else following along was curious.
Like, Ty West is good at slow burn horror movies, Keepers and House of the Dead, House of the Devil.
Which to me, the idea in Christine is that the kid's going crazy. It's not the car. Yeah. He's insane. You know what I mean? Like, if you play that angle of it, that all the way until the end, that you don't even realize that until that reveal, that, in some way it is him going nuts. I feel like he would be able to pull that out of you.
Yeah. I mean, I think he could do it. I definitely think he could do it. He's a talented director. I feel like there's something I feel like there's a director we're missing. Do you feel that? Like,
of course.
There's somebody we're missing right now for Christine that would really work. Like, just gets it.
I'm trying to think of somebody who has, because I don't know if you want to play it as a jump cuts kind of movie, as a that kind of scare movie. Like, you want to go with a Robert Rodriguez kind of over the top-ish kind of feel to it,
Well, let me ask you this: where are you setting this? Are you setting it like the book in those
Absolutely
early
not.
days?
No, no, no. It's got to be pushed forward. It's got to be further up than that. It's got to be in the, you know, what would be great? It's in the 2000s in the cars of 90s Volvo.
Like a '90s Volvo.
Yes,
Oh,
90s
you
Volvos.
got to make it a racing car. It's got to be a racing.
Yeah,
car.
that's fair. What a DeLorean?
No.
A haunted DeLorean. The yes.
Like you can still keep the Plymouth Skylark because it's an antique car. Not
You
Skylark.
could.
Plymouth. I have it right. What is it? Plymouth something.
Nah, see, I wouldn't want to keep that though. I would rather. What about a Trans Am T-top?
Did Smokey come with it?
And the Bandit.
Does this turn into Eastbound and Down?
Yes, sir.
No, that's a movie that I could see being remade.
What, Smokey and the Bandit?
Yeah.
I don't.
I would want it still set in the 80s.
I couldn't have it done the way the Dukes of Hazzard was done, with that Johnny Knoxville kind of style. Like I get
that.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't fan of that.
No.
So you have to veer pretty far away from that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want it done too dramatic either.
Not like Paul Verhoeven?
No. But I was thinking like maybe like a Justin Lin.
Okay. All right.
Something like that. Like I think he can make it interesting, flashy, but like
actually Justin Lin's Christine would be pretty rad.
Ooh, that would be a good one. I mean, it'd be a little more adventurous, but like,
yeah,
I feel like there's a Japanese director. I'm not Justin Lin, but like there's another Japanese actor that I'm missing on that could really pull off Christine. I don't know why either. I don't know why rhyme or reason why I'm thinking there's a Japanese director, but there is.
Nor do I. I'm fascinated to see where it goes.
Ooh, how about Christine in a different country? A Cuban version of Christine. Christine gets destroyed at the end, and remember when Cuba, like the greatest, like they just kept the cars that they had?
Yeah.
Or just tell a story that takes place in like.
I mean, I'm actually really cool with that. I love the Cuba idea because, I mean, those vehicles get passed down generation after generation, so you can put a lot of story behind that.
And it's the whole
island. That would be pretty radical, actually. No, I'm definitely in on that one. 100%.
That'd be just definitely interesting for sure. And it's a different country, and it's not like you're getting away. It's not like you move out of the town or like you're on an island.
You're on an island, yeah.
And he's just they're murdering people that have wronged them.
Yep.
It could be that'd be an interesting take.
And it's all family oriented too, because it's the grandson who's actually completing the will of his grandfather.
Interesting. I like it.
I don't know. It's probably a bridge too far, but but you know what? It's almost 2 a.m. I'm rolling with it.
We're almost there, man. We're almost there. Half hour away.
1:30, baby. Woo!
1:30. If you gotta go, I understand. You gotta work tomorrow. I will not fault you in any way, shape, or form.
Man, pushing through.
For sure, though. I think that's that's pretty solid coverage there of what we would change in Hollywood if we could, terms of movies.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't care enough to pick a new James Bond. I would much rather pick a new James Bond story or add to the stories that we have. Flesh out these worlds. You know, there's plenty of opportunities to go into places, and I like the idea of remakes. And honestly, I understand why people get upset about remakes, and I've said it before that, you know, it does hurt and sometimes detract from the original if you let it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different art, and it's a different perspective and a different ideal, and I appreciate that. We have to keep trying, otherwise we never get anything new. So, and sometimes rebooting some of the old stuff gives us new things, maybe new actors or actresses or directors or writers. So it's fantastic to constantly try to push the envelope with old stories.
I agree. And I listen, I've been on record in the past saying, I wish they would remake movies that didn't do well back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think could be retold really well under the right director. George G3, thanks for still hanging in there, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, George.
They're last man standing with us. But so for me, like I would like to see some movies that bombed or just didn't do well, or lesser known movies that are popular. Like if you're gonna remake a John Carpenter movie, remake like Prince of Darkness that didn't do well. You can kind of pull it
Right.
out. Remake Ghost of Mars because it's a cool concept.
I loved Ghost of Mars.
You
It just didn't come across well. They just kind of fell short.
Yeah, I would just do that. Like stuff like that. Like if you're gonna remake John Carpenter.
Oh, wait! I remember what I hated about Ghost of Mars.
What?
The people on Mars.
Why?
The outfits were terrible, man.
Yeah, it was 90s fluff.
Yeah, it was like some terrible. It looks like they just used the props and costumes from whatever post-apocalyptic era movie was happening, like next door, and they were like, "Can we grab that tire suit and those giant oversized boots? And I don't know, we're gonna spray paint it, then throw some red dust on it. That cool?"
Just get it in there.
I hated it, man. I hated that part of it, but everything else was cool. Like concept was great.
I will tell you, as we go on and as we keep talking, and these are the days of our lives.
These are the days.
Fuck, man. Overnights. I'm so glad it's not doing well. Maybe we don't have to do one next year. No, but we did a pretty good job. Remake Three Amigos and the Cable Guy. Do you? Who do you make for Three Amigos with? Because they were so good together.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. They were also complimentary. I mean, of course, you can find that now. I'm more than certain there's someone out there who has that ability.
You need a really good comedic team.
I'm already going to give you two. You ready?
Oh.
The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Kevin Hart?
Done.
Oh, my God. That actually really does work well. Oh, my God. They're all movie stars that go down to Mexico. The Rock being an action star, but really a pussy.
Right.
And kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds being the Steve Martin character where he's just like kind of, we need to make some money. We need to do this fast.
We got to do this. We got to get down there. We just got to hustle. No, I think Kevin Hart would be that character.
I think Kevin Hart would be the Martin Short character.
No, I think that's where you flip it on its head and you make Ryan Reynolds the Martin Short character.
Okay. All right.
Or like just the actor. Hello. You know, I love that.
What about the Cable Guy? Do you think the Cable Guy needs to be remade?
I don't want to see another Cable Guy.
George T3 says, okay, I would see that.
See?
We've successfully remade Netflix. Call us.
But yeah, I don't know about Cable Guy because Cable Guy was great for what it was. I don't see a reason to remake that one because I don't see why that story has to be retold.
I would remake it, but I'd remake it as a dark drama or thriller.
Oh, like because it's not already?
True, but there's too much comedy to it.
I think it's still so dark, bro.
Oh,
I think it lands on such a dark side that that amount of comedy, taking out any comedy, turns it into the Fan with Wesley Snipes and Robert De Niro. No. Very not fucking cool.
Let me ask you this. Is there any actors whose movies should never be remade?
No. I just flat out no. Like I would love to see someone do Son of a Woman. And I would be absolutely okay with that. I think that story can be redone now, today. Is it going to have the impact of what Pacino did with that role? Absolutely not. But I also can't say that with any absolute certainty because it hasn't happened yet. I haven't seen it. I didn't think Dune would ever be this good on screen.
I thought Dune had potential to be good if it was done
It's
right.
always had potential in my mind ever since I watched it the first time and went. And about 3 hours later, I was like, oh, now it's better because I made it up in my brain way better. Like once you fill in all the holes.
I think The Great Outdoors could be redone. Absolutely. I love The Great Outdoors. It's a beautiful movie. John Candy is a comedian that I don't think needs to be redone in any way, his movies, but like you could redo it and not take away from the performance of John Candy. It doesn't have to be the same.
Same with Dan Aykroyd. I think that character playing Annette Bening, for crying out loud, her character was hilarious in it. So,
but there is one actor I don't think, or I wouldn't want to see his movies get remade.
Charlton Heston. I understand why.
No, not that.
You don't want another Ben-Hur, bro?
Robin Williams. I don't think any of his movies, especially all the choices that he made, could be redone in a better way than he did them.
See, once again, better becomes a very difficult thing because that's all based on what you feel about it. Someone else might watch a new Patch Adams and take something from it. Someone might watch a new version of Jack and take something from that. So that's always sell. Oh well, yeah, okay. Jack's a tough sell.
He is the best part of Jack.
Good Morning Vietnam. Who the hell is going to redo Adrian Cronauer that well?
Nobody. I don't think, and that's the only one. Like Tom Hanks, you can remake his movies, you can retell them.
Think of how many times with Dead Poets Society.
Yeah.
How many times, have people even tried to do that speech to that degree, or a speech like that?
But Good Will Hunting. Oh, you've never seen Good Will Hunting?
Whatever.
No, you need to watch Good Will Hunting. You know what? It's our show, and I'm going to play the speech from Good Will Hunting right now. Doing it, you're watching at least a speech because I know you will watch the movie just based on this wonderful, wonderful speech. Hold on. That can never or should never be replaced in any way, shape, or form. All right. So hold on one sec. Okay. I'm going to share the shit out of this right now. And I like how George is like, eat your Danish, do it. I'm talking. That's good. We're good. Here we go. So to set the scene before I hit it, of course, Robin Williams' character is playing a psychologist who's going to work with the genius that is Matt Damon's character. He has to do it. It's court ordered, but he has flushed out every psychologist and kind of screwed him over, and they're getting tired. They bring him to Robin Williams' character, and he completely dismantles. And because Matt Damon's character is so smart, he completely dismantles his wife because his wife died. And this is his answer to that. And I'm going to pull it up right now and play it, and you're going to listen to it, sir.
Taster's choice moment between guys. This is really nice. You got a thing for swans? Is this like a fetish? It's something like maybe we need to devote some time to.
Thought about what you said to me the other day about my painting. Stayed up half the night thinking about it. Something occurred to me. I fell into a deep, peaceful sleep and haven't thought about you since. You know what occurred to me?
No.
You're just a kid. You don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about.
Why, thank you.
It's all right. You've never been out of Boston.
Nope.
So if I asked you about art, you'd probably give me the skinny on every art book ever written. Michelangelo. You know a lot about him. Life's work, political aspirations, him and the Pope, sexual orientation, the whole works, right? I bet you can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel. You never actually stood there and looked up at that beautiful ceiling. Seen that. If I ask you about women, you'd probably give me a silver, say your personal favorites. You may have even been laid a few times. But you can't tell me what it feels like to wake up next to a woman and feel truly happy. You're a tough kid. I ask you about war, you'd probably throw Shakespeare at me, right? Once more into the breach, dear friends. But you've never been near one. You've never held your best friend's head in your lap. Watch him gasp his last breath, looking to you for help. I ask you about love. Probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone that could level you with her eyes. Feeling like God put an angel on earth just for you. Who could rescue you from the depths of hell. And you wouldn't know what it's like to be her angel. To have that love for her be there forever. Through anything. Through cancer. And you would know about sitting up in a hospital room for 2 months, holding her hand, because the doctors could see in your eyes that the terms visiting hours don't apply to you. You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much. I look at you, I don't see an intelligent, confident man. I see a cocky, scared, shitless kid. But you're a genius, Will. No one denies that. No one could possibly understand the depths of you. But you presume to know everything about me because you saw a painting of mine. You ripped my fucking life apart. You're an orphan, right? Do you think I'd know the first thing about how hard your life has been? How you feel? Who you are? Because I read Oliver Twist. Does that encapsulate you? Personally, I don't give a shit about all that because you know what? I can't learn anything from you. I can't read in some fucking book. Unless you want to talk about you, who you are. Then I'm fascinated. I'm in. But you don't want to do that, do you, Sport? You're terrified of what you might say. You move, Chief.
I love that movie.
Oh, did it already play?
Your dick. It's such a good movie. And that's like one of his many, many monologues that just works in every facet.
He's amazing. He has so many of them throughout his career.
Yeah.
I mean, I brought up Dead Poets Society, Good Morning Vietnam. 1 Hour Photo, he has a creepy one.
Yeah.
Or is it Insomnia? I think Insomnia is a really creepy one. Yeah. Well, Insomnia is like more, well, no, you're right. They're both deadly.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, that's a guy I would not want to see any of his movies remade.
I still feel like that there are people out there who have the ability to reach that point. And yes, that is a huge Danish, right, George? It's awesome.
Huge Danish. That's what she said.
Huge Danish.
Huge Danish.
But yeah, I can understand not wanting to remake his movies. I don't. I just think maybe not yet. How about that? Maybe just not yet. We need more time. There needs to be a level of nostalgia to it. There needs to be some modicum of respect done with it. I don't know. It's difficult. You're right. It's very difficult.
One of his movies was remade, and we can kind of base it off that.
Which one was that? Mrs. Doubtfire?
Aladdin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now live action from cartoon, but and I thought Will Smith did a fine job. Like, I'm not putting him down, but it just wasn't the same in my opinion.
Well, of course. It's not going to be. And once again, it's that issue of we have it in our minds and we grew up with it in a different time. And plus there was a different characterization, that is so in our brains as like, you ain't never had a friend like me. That's Robin Williams, man. Like Will Smith doing that song, he did a fantastic version of it, but it's the Robin Williams original. That is his jam. So you're right. That is going to be hard to see if anyone else can ever play the hits as well as he did.
Even I'm assuming that's an Aladdin.
Yeah.
Aladdin redone with Will Smith was weird. Not in a bad way. No, I mean,
it's not in a bad way either. It's not a bad movie. It just didn't have the heart to me. It didn't grab me the way Aladdin did. It didn't. Lion King, definitely didn't grab me the way the animated did. You know, the live action was not up to par.
Yeah, and again, like, but I do like that Disney's trying that,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, it wasn't when they remade Aladdin. It wasn't like we're remaking a Robin Williams movie. They were just like we're remaking it into a live action.
Of course, yep. And I think that there's a difference there because you're like Aladdin is not his IP. He was an amazing character in it. Patch Adams, however, you know, that's Robin Williams' role.
Yeah.
Jack is a Robin Williams role. You know, what a fantastic story.
Stop defending Jack and not watching Good Will Hunting.
Jack is phenomenal. What are you talking about? Jack is this grown man trying to play this young child who looks like a grown man. It's wonderful.
I mean, he did amazing in that movie, but I'm not a huge fan of that movie.
That's fine.
He did.
I fell in love with it more after River got into it, and like just recently she watched it and really fell in love with it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see why this has such an appeal.
Yeah, yeah, and Jack. Oh man, when he's just so scared, and you remember that he's a child.
Yeah,
it breaks your heart, and it's just when people treat him poorly, but he is a child. Like, oh my god, that movie! He just does such an amazing job.
He's phenomenal. Well, I mean, I'm the Fisher King, for crying out loud, playing a crazy homeless person. Come on,
yeah,
it's brutal.
But in his mind, he's fighting a war.
Yeah,
it just there's a lot of beauty to it, but. I that's one though. I maintain. I'm like, don't remake Robin Williams movies.
I still say you can do it. Do whatever you want. I believe in chaotic freedom. I think if they remade 4 of his right now, one of them would be decent, and that's it. That's the most I would give it, and that'd probably be a Mrs. Doubtfire remake with Ryan Reynolds.
I feel like if they remade or they even did a sequel or something to something like that, to a Miss Doubtfire, it would be on par with like Jingle All the Way 2.
Yeah. Oh no, it'd be difficult, and plus you have to worry about as we've gotten older now, and laws have changed. Kidnapping's kind of a thing, and impersonating someone and just pretending to be another. I don't know. It starts to cross some weird lines.
My only thing about that would be is if you were going to do it, take that movie and actually make it tell a story and shine a light on fathers and their rights, their custodial rights.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an interesting spin on it. And that should be the spin on it. I think that needs to be a louder voice.
I don't know that you could do it because of gender identity and just where we're at.
That was the one that I was kind of thinking about being more of the hot button issue. The gender identity thing being the fact that it was, he played it as he respected it a lot. You know what I mean? Like he respected that and that character he was creating and the people he was going to help him with that. And the end game being what it was pretty good. But it's also scary because it's kind of terrifying thinking you did that to your ex-wife. That's kind of tormenting in a way, that could be perceived in such a way that's not cool.
But thinking about it from the point of view of a father and having your whole life like that, he's not always there, but he loves his children.
Yeah,
and he desperately cares for them and just wants to be in their lives. And she's basically taking all of it away from him. Supervised visits is what he gets.
Yeah,
and. He didn't even deserve that. Like, he didn't deserve supervised visits. That's why I think, like, if they remade it, I wish they would touch down on custodial rights of fathers and how in this country it's a fucking sham. But I think you could do something positive, is what I'm saying. Like, take a positive thing with that. But other movies, like if his, like Fisher King, if you remade it, you could make the point of mental health and homelessness in this country.
And I think that would be a really good one to remake. And honestly, I think that would be an honor to remake something like in honor of. You know what I mean? And that's more of a nod to him because you can create that character again. It will never be probably as great as Robin Williams put it together, but you can still put it there.
Yeah, no, 100%. George C3 is reminding us that we have 10 minutes to go.
10
Home
minutes
stretch,
to go.
That's right. 4-hour show. And we're almost there. And then I'm going to bed. And I know you are too.
I got a couch staring at me right over here.
That's fair. And again, anytime you want to go, man, this is, please feel free. I understand. You got work in the morning. But yeah, I still maintain I don't want to see his movies remade, but if they remade some, I think they could do it in a positive manner.
Yeah.
I
would be okay with his stuff being remade.
Yeah.
I still think it could all be done well. There are some that are going to be hard. Oh, that's man. True. Well, my friend, I'm very thankful to you, for you, in my life. I appreciate you. It was a wonderful Thanksgiving, a wonderful tradition. Now all the crazies who are ready to get up at 2 a.m. and wait in line at the big box stores to get their sweet deals.
Not me.
Will begin their process. As we, the old men, begin to turn in for the evening, after riding that crazy electric dream right into your ear holes. Yep. We appreciate y'all listening and hanging out with us tonight. It's been pretty fun, pretty exciting, pretty adventurous.
It has been.
And I am pretty freaking tired.
Right, well, I'm going to let you go. You go ahead and you get some sleep. I'm going to finish off here, and then I'm going to bed myself.
I just want to say I love you all very much. Thank you, my friend. Be kind to each other.
All right, brother. Take care.
Be well.
Well, guys, that was Casey. I appreciate him coming in. He's a great co-host. And, he had a lot to do tonight. So I know it's kind of been rough on him, but, I'll finish off this last 8 minutes, of our 4-hour Scene Snobs Thanksgiving special by saying, I appreciate you guys. I really do. I think, everybody who watches, listens, even if you listen later, you guys are all awesome. Thank you so much. Hopefully we have some good, fun topic conversations for you that you can really enjoy. We got a lot of fun stuff going on. If you haven't checked out, again, tomorrow, I interviewed Brendan Patrizzo, who's the director of Devil's Triangle, which comes out today, the 26th. It's out. You can rent it. Go check it out. It's also we also did Real Combat, which we'll be playing right after, starting at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So you'll see the interview, and then you'll see our Real Combat. Well, one of the stars, Morgan Bradley, joined, and we do a Real Combat. So if you don't know what Real Combat is, it's our debate show where movie lovers come in. They each pick a movie, and they debate why I should watch their movie. And it gets pretty interesting. It gets to be a lot of fun. We had a great episode for the Thanksgiving edition, which you can go check out on YouTube now, with George G3 from Dueling Aces, and also Mike Colby from Jack Billing Presents Haunted Apartment Complex. Another great podcast. So go check that out. We had an episode of the Scene Snobs podcast earlier this week. We had some great conversation on there, so you can check that out. Remember, we're available on our YouTube channel or any podcast platform. You can go download. We are there. Follow us. We are at the Scene Snob pretty much everywhere, or at the very least at the Scene Snobs, depending where you go. But if you head over to thescenesnobs.com, we have links to everything, so you can check us out there. So what I'd really appreciate is if you're on YouTube, please hit the like button. If you're on Facebook, hit the like button as well. We will be, after the new year, solely moving over to the YouTube channel for our live shows. We'll still have the podcast on the podcast platforms, but our videos will only be broadcast live on our YouTube channel, no longer on social media. So you will have to go there. But we're looking forward to it. We're very excited about it. So you can check out our broadcasts anywhere. But follow us on social media, because that's where we keep up with all of our stuff, and we have some fun stuff coming out. Yeah, so we're going to be going for the next month. On the 22nd is our last Real Combat, and then we are off for 2 weeks. But the 21st, we're having our 2 hours. A Tuesday. It starts at 8 p.m. We're going to have a 2-hour Christmas special. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a good lineup of things to happen. Yes, but that will be our Christmas special, and more information to come on that as we go. You know, it's been a whirlwind lately, a lot of stuff going on, but we are looking forward to taking the break for Christmas. But we are here and we're having fun. So make sure you check out tomorrow. We're going to have some movie reviews coming out. Those are exclusively on our YouTube channel. You can always check those out. But they'll be available to you, and we put them out every week, all the new movies. And we got some fun ones, so make sure you go check those out. But this is our Thanksgiving special, and so anybody who's listening to this maybe came in a little late, this will be cut up into different parts for the podcast. Four different parts. You can go out and you can check out, any of our part of our Thanksgiving special. It's just our way of like being connected to everybody on Thanksgiving. I know it could be a tough holiday, especially last year with COVID. There was a lot of people celebrating by themselves, and we wanted to be there for them. And that's why we do what we do. And we want to entertain, help out in any way we can. And we appreciate you when you guys come on, and you really help us kind of keep up with it. The comments tonight were truly fantastic. We had a fun time with all your answers. It was really great. It's a wonderful time for everybody. But just remember as we kind of go on, we are thankful for you. We are thankful for thankful for the support, and we appreciate it. And we are going to keep motoring. We have a lot of fun, cool stuff that's going to be coming up soon. And the new year is just going to be wild. We have a lot of fun, really fun things we're going to be doing then. I hope you enjoyed our topics tonight. We had a good time doing it. Again, I'm Nick Manhattan, the Scene Snob. Been doing this and we're started our third year now. So like we're getting into it. So this is our third Thanksgiving special. We started in August, and we just had our anniversary. You can check out all our old episodes and stuff like that. George G3 is trying to get me to go to bed. I got to hang in there, man. I got 3 minutes left. I'm going to get there. But yeah, we do appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. It's wonderful to be a part of doing something like this, and it grows, and we have other great shows that we are a part of. And it's 2 a.m. and we did the 4 hours. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, we hope we were entertaining. That's our main goal here. And if there's anything that you are interested in, we are on Patreon. You can become a patron member. It's $5 a month, and we do prize giveaways to one of our lucky patron members. Dan, thank you. Congratulations. You won this month, and the prize is being sent out to you. So our good buddy Dan, who you'll see him in the end credit roll. But and then next month we're going to be doing Christmas giveaways, things like that. We also have the merch store. If you go to thescenesnobs.com, it has links to everything. The merch store, everything. All our podcast platforms, all our podcast pages, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. So please follow, subscribe. We're also on TikTok. We do a lot of videos there. We have a good time with it. So if you're on TikTok, come enjoy that and play along or duet or stitch with us. I am going to sign off. It's 1:58 in the morning. By the time the end credits roll, it should be 2 o'clock. But before I go, I want to say one more thing that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for my family. I am thankful for all of you. I'm thankful. This year has been a tough one in a lot of ways. And if you follow the Scene Snobs, you've heard some of my stories and we've talked about it. But we're getting through. We're getting through, and I always try to keep optimistic and positive about that. And we even lost one of our very dear friends, and he was a Scene Snob as well. And it was a tough loss. And but I've learned to be very thankful for the life I have, and the experiences and the memories that I've built, and everything that we're building here. So again, I just want to say thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. I love you guys. You were truly fantastic. Stick around for the end credits if you want any information. But until then, I love you, Len. And have a great night. Take care. And I will talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob. And you can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or you can check it out on any podcast platform or our YouTube channel anytime after that. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. If you guys want to join, check us out over on thescenesnobs.com. We have links for everything. The Scene Snobs merch store is open. You can check that out too. Links again on the site. Or like, follow, and subscribe on all of our social media. Again, head over to thescenesnobs.com. It's all there for you guys. Love you, and we'll talk to you guys soon.